Hi everyone. Um, it's interesting I'm not in front of the camera this time, but I'm working in the dolly room today. I'm rearranging a few things and moving some things around and rearranging some dolls. And I thought I'd bring you with me and tell you some of the stories of the residents in this room, because they've all got a story. They all had a life. They all loved and lost. They all knew fear and sadness. And excuse the spots on my camera, but my camera is dying and I haven't got a new phone yet. So where should we start? Probably with these two ladies. This lady anyway. I did a video on Aurora over a year ago. This is like baby Aurora. She is a 1990s hobby doll, porcelain hobby doll. But she has two spirits attached to her mother and the baby. And Aurora has her own cot because she's a long-term resident. Because until the universe runs its course, Aurora will stay on Earth and come backwards and forwards. So, out of respect, I bought her own cot. She has her teddy, and she's very safe and comfortable. The next one we have here, and this is a doll I get asked about a lot online, on my page. This is Baby Angel. Baby Angel is the spirit, holds the spirit of a baby boy who was born with a birth defect. His lungs weren't developed, he was premature. And it was in the days where there wasn't anything you could do about such things. So Baby Angel was put into the corner of a room and the door was shut, and nature was left to take its course. And he died a very slow, agonizing death as he suffocated because his lungs wouldn't work. Now, this is a doll that I pretty much let in most of the dolls be handled by people who come and visit, but this is one that I don't, because Baby Angel has the ability to affect someone physically, and it's usually women, because Baby Angel connects to a woman's feminine energy, and he literally inadvertently is a energetic vampire. He absorbs that energy because that's what he craves, because he didn't have it. He's not negative. He doesn't know what he is doing isn't right. He just wants love, and he wants to feel loved, and he doesn't want to be on his own, because that in death that's all he remembers. So camera is changing light conditions because that's what Baby Angel does. Because we're right next to the window and it's not coming through the window. When men pick up Angel, they get the residual energy of how he died. So they get the breathing issues, they get fear because he's actually frightened of men. So I had a friend who found this cradle for me online. This is his cradle. It's a wicker one. It's an antique one, I'd say, maybe vintage. The doll itself, the vessel itself, is a 1990 hobby doll made in doll classes. A lot of my porcelain dolls are like that because I find they, for some reason, hold energy because they've been handmade and they're not store produced. So this is one little tacker that I only let hold by people who have it together spiritually, because he can do a lot of harm and he doesn't mean to. He triggered an epileptic seizure on me when I didn't realise what was going on with him. It took me a while to figure him out. So he's very peaceful. He's got his train, got his bunny. And this has like a canopy that comes over so that he feels safe, and we've got him near the window. Who else? This is Audrey. Audrey is what they call an attic doll. She was made in the 1990s. She's also handmade. She's got the most beautiful face. She does move her head. You can put her in one position and you find her in another, her head looking somewhere else next time you come in. She does look around. She doesn't say much. She has a lot of regret and a lot of sadness, Audrey, that she's working through. But she is very pretty, and the rocking chair that she sits on was actually given to us by a friend of ours who bought it for her porcelain doll. But she no longer needed it, so she donated it to the dolly room. The one next to her is Cricket. She's got a lovely face. She's a 70s walking toddler doll. She's actually got a really lovely little energy. She's one of Susan's dolls. And I'll talk about Susan a lot because a lot of the dolls in my collection have come from a lady called Susan. Susan was a lady who passed away, and most of her dolls were going to end up in a skip bin. And then a friend of mine who ran an op shop saved them all, and I bought the majority of her collection, and now they reside in the dolly room and Susan drops in and visits. So that's Cricket, and this is Lavinia down here. She's a Canadian doll as well. She's one of Susan's. And then I've got my witchy lamp that I made because I needed a lamp for the room and I needed to make it look interesting, so that's it. And this dolly came in a box of dolls I was doing up for a op shop, and I liked her because she had the two different coloured eyes, and she reminded me of David Bowie, so Rick nicknamed her Boetta. She's a cheap, you buy them on Wish. She's a Chinese doll, but I just like the look of her. I thought she was pretty funky. So we'll go up over here, and we've got my plants and the scarecrows that look after them. And we'll come down here. This is my pink lady. She is a 1970s walking, talking doll, and she still, if I can find it, has her button that works. So she talks, and she does talk without pushing her button, usually at 3 o'clock in the morning. You hear her asking you to be her friend because she's lonely. So her hands move. It's usually one arm or the other that goes forward. They never stay by her side. This is Betty down the bottom here. She's a 1940s doll. She's got residual energy, Betty. She's, we called her Betty because she looked like the chick in those readers that they came out in the 50s, the Betty and John books. She's a 1940s Hong Kong made doll, and She has, her wrists actually move. But usually when they move, her hand falls off, so I'm not going to do it. But her wrists are articulated, so they move, and she has her eyes open and close. So to me, she looks like those mannequins on Doctor Who that are going around causing trouble. Sorry, just trying to get out so I don't trip over. So then we come up, and here's my Cameron. Everyone knows Cameron. There's Cam. Cameron's a reborn doll. He's got two spirits attached to him. He's also got residual energy. Cameron's got the spirit of a young boy named Peter attached to him. And he's also got the spirit of a young boy who we refer to as Phoenix. And Cameron he's my little old man. He's a reborn, he's weighted, he's good for therapy. I bought him for therapeutic purposes and he ended up being spirited, and that's just the way it happens in this house. If I've got a doll that's not spirited, when it gets here, chances are it will be very shortly. Because the spirit like to have something to call their own. So this is Bumble. I bought him for a friend and I haven't delivered him yet because of COVID. This is my tough guy, Ryan. There's Ryan. He's my tough guy. He's got a girlfriend at the moment. That's Alex. Those two are kind of hanging out together. Ryan looks like he's off the set of a vampire movie. I say he had a role on Lost Boys, but it's just the way he looks. He's a reborn. His dummy is magnetic. So he just has residual energy. He's very, very therapeutic. He's very healing. He's very cuddly. Who else we got? Oh, this is a little fairy. She picked her outfit, hence is why she's wearing a beanie that doesn't match her dress. She picked her outfit. According to her, the beanie does match her dress because it's got a flower on it, just like on the dress. Now go figure. And at the back here, this is one of my dolls I had when I was a girl. This is Cindy. She's just one of mine. She's my child from the 80s. And then we have Pippi. Now Pippi is a 1950s Italian doll. And her eyes look a little bit weird. People say she looks like Chucky out of the Chucky movies. But she's got a whole lot of attitude. She's one of Susan's dolls. This is Marilyn, who I restored. And Marilyn had a lot of damage. She came from a deceased estate. The lady was a doll collector, and they were trying to find homes for all of her dolls. We've got Gretel. She's just after World War One. She's a German doll. You can see she's quite simple. We call this little lady Trouble because I have a feeling she's going to be trouble. She's only a new one. I haven't worked with her yet, but we definitely call her Trouble. She's also another one that wanders around and changes positions. These were done by Susan. I have her dolls. She used to make porcelain dolls in classes and stuff. So these are two of hers. She's a German reproduction. And this little one I'm not quite sure of. But I've got them on the table just because, they're a good showpiece. And it is a doll room. And then you've got the pink lady. And there's Cam. And then you've got Betty on the back there. And then this one is actually This is actually, I call her Wanda Clockwork, but she's a walking Wanda doll. You wind her up. She's a clockwork walking doll from America, an American toy company. She doesn't have an attachment. I just thought she was cool. I really loved her. I thought it was clever. You got Cam and Bumble and Ryan. And this little one in here is Nikki. I'm trying not to get my hand in the camera. That's Nikki. He's got the spirit of an intellectually challenged young gentleman attached to him. He was the therapy doll that gentleman had. And he's actually quite sweet. It was dressed as a girl doll, but that wasn't going to happen. So, and there's Gretel and Trouble, two lovebirds. Charlie and Liz are celluloid dolls from the 1940s. So you had composite dolls like Clara, and then you had celluloid in the middle, and then it went to the hard plastic dolls, which are out in the other room. So it's from the 1940s. Then we have Liz and Charlie. Someone said to me, Liz and Charlie are the reason why my doll collection keeps growing, because these two are so in love with each other. It's not funny. And it's beautiful. When I got Charlie, he needed a complete paint job and a restoration. He needed to be restrung, and he was just defeated. So I gave him a new paint job. All his paint job is new. And then I got Liz. And Liz had a dent in her face, so now she's got a beauty spot that I patched. And I dressed Liz up, and Charlie just fell in love with her. And the energy in the room with these two was amazing. Charlie protects Liz no matter what. She's his girl, and that's how he treats her. He treats her very well. And we got Clara, Lady Clara. Clara was a gift from one of my students. And she's a beautiful, quiet kind of soul. And she's a composite doll, so she's from the 1940s, 1950s. Her eyes are made of tin and painted. This is Lady Patricia. She came in terrible condition, and I did her up and fixed her. Her head was split in two. She had only one arm. Her dress was a lovely shade of dirt. She had cracks. Patricia's funny because the doll had only one arm, and the spirit only had one arm. And I wasn't sure whether I should replace the arm or not. But then she said, well, give me a fake one. So she's got her real arm, which is here. It's her real arm. And this one is actually a porcelain arm that doesn't match, because the spirit had one arm, so she says she's got a prosthesis now. The vessel has its own prosthesis. So this is Rosie. She's got an elemental attached to her. Very cheeky elemental. Likes to run up the curtains. And then, who have we got over here? This is Sky. She's my beautiful reborn baby. I've only got 3 reborns. This is my 3rd one. She's got a very calming sort of energy. This is Sandy, one of the girls on my Dolly blog named Sandy. She's a broody teenager that you can't tell her what to do. You tell her one thing and she does the opposite. So she's only a new restoration. I've had her in the cupboard for a while. I've been meaning to do her up. I think she's probably annoyed at me because it took so long. So who else have we got? Got the old lady. This is Margaret. She just likes to sleep. She's just tired. And young Richard. He has a weird energy too. It's more of a premature baby sort of energy, having trouble breathing, respiratory issues. Kind of a different energy to Angel. But he's actually settled in a lot better. It's taken him a while though. And we've got Casper. Hello, buddy. Casper's a recent acquisition, and Casper manifests in the house. I called him Casper because he looks like something out of Charles Dickens. You know, the Ghost of Christmas Past and all that. We actually are tempted to hang him from the ceiling because he looks like he wants to be the ghost of Christmas. I call him my ghost baby. And he manifests in the house, but he takes on the form of the doll. So he's this little tiny white figure that shuffles along. You hear him on the floor shuffling. He doesn't walk, he shuffles. It's like his knees are fused together. And he just shuffles his feet along, and you can actually hear him when he manifests, and you hear him moving around the house. He likes books, likes to read books, and he likes books with pictures. And he's a kid around 10, I think, 10 or 12, probably 10-ish. But he likes to, I don't know whether he can read, but he likes books. We have a couple of old books here in the dolly room, and he likes books, and I often find them on the floor where I didn't leave them. So that's to do with Casper. And then we come round here. Here's Miss Evie, smiling away. Miss Evie is a three-faced doll. She is the spirit of a young lass who had mental health issues. So her three faces, she's got a happy face, a sad face, and a sleeping face. And her sad face affects a lot of people emotionally, especially if you're empathic. She's another one that affects the living quite substantially. She's got her little baby with her. She looks after, and she's got her dog. And this little lass, who is still getting used to being here because she's come a long way, this is Beth. Beth was sent to me by a lady in America with a few other dolls. The other dolls are out the other way. She's a very quiet sort of lass. She can get very scared sometimes, but she's coming out of a shell soon. She's getting there. I love her eyes because she's got kind of like a pinky grey sort of tint to her eyes, which is common with the dolls from the 1990s. This is the animatronic baby. She's a baby lover Bella doll. So when she wakes up, she doesn't stop. She just chats and chats and chats and chats. And we're not sure what's going on with her. We think there is something attached to her, but I'm not quite sure what. I've got a feeling it might be an elemental. And there's Jane. She's a cheeky little soul. She's an elemental. She's got more of a pixie energy. That's Jane. And down here, we have another sleeping doll. This is Rose. And when you pick Rose up, you just don't want to put her down. She's got such a lovely energy, you just want to hold her. She's a sweet little thing. She's just got really calming, healing sort of energy, Rose. She stirs and her eyes flutter and her eyelashes flutter and stuff, but you just can't put her down. You just want to hold her and hold her and hold her because she just makes you feel that good. She's pure love, Rose, which is why I called her Rose. Rose is the flower of love, and she is just love right there in a vessel. She's cute. She's gorgeous. So who else have we got? Got anyone else? Have I missed anyone? So I'll do a pan round for you. So there we go. That's everyone there. And then we come down here. There's Aurora. And there's Beautiful Angel. And try not to trip over. Yeah, this little lady she's a musical doll. You wind her up and she rocks the baby. This is our Annabelle doll. This is Annabelle Lee. Rick called her Annabelle Lee. I don't know why he did that. He doesn't know either. It just came to him. So obviously there's something connected there. Named after a Stevie Nicks song and an Edgar Allan Poe poem. It's our Annabelle Lee. And you've got Cricket. and Lavinia, Boetta. These are a couple of these were done by Susan, the lady I got a lot of her dolls from. So on that note, I will show you the other dolls. There's more dolls in the other room. But on that note, I'll say goodbye. So from me and the dollies, bye.